Good evening and welcome to High Performance Live. It's great to have you here. Welcome and thank you for joining. If this is the first time that we are seeing this year 2024, let me just start by saying Happy New Year to you. Big congratulations for making it to the new year, to making it to the year 2024. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to your family. I'm sure the new year has gotten off to a great start for you. Today is already the fifth day of the new year, and it's already moving well. We're already making progress. I just want to say very very big congratulations to you. Well done. This is our first live session for the year 2024, and I'm excited to be here with you today. We had a great time last year, 2023, every step of the way, every week, especially since I started showing up on YouTube. Every week we were here doing all the things, encouraging ourselves, cheering ourselves on our high performance journey throughout last year. And we are here again, 2024. We're taking it to a whole new level. We're keeping the steam going, while every other person is perhaps still under the holiday blues. We are here the very first Friday of the year 2024, and we're doing this together. It just shows that we everything that we do, we take it seriously. We mean business, to making sure that we become those high performers that God has created us to be. You know how we do it, right? Every time we come on High Performance Live like this, we always do our high performance review for the week, which is what you are grateful for, the lesson that you are learning, and what you are looking forward to in the upcoming week. So I'll go first. What I'm grateful for is I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here on the first Friday of the year 2024. I'm so grateful to God for this opportunity and for this privilege to do this. And I'm grateful to you being part of this community. The lesson that I'm learning this week is the laws of wealth. The laws of wealth. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in a couple of minutes. And I know you are going to find it very insightful, because I believe that this is very important even as we start the year, even as we go into the year 2024. This is going to be very, very important, going to determine, our success, our journey, even as we move into the year. And what I'm looking forward to in the coming week is, hearing from you what specific skills that you want to learn this year. I've been saying I was going to put up that questionnaire in the community tab here on YouTube, and just to ask, what specific skills are you looking forward to learn in this year 2024? I really, really want to hear from you. And so that's why I'm starting it off here by asking you. So please do me a favor. You can just drop it in the comments. Let me know what is that skill that you want to learn this year 2024. So that's my own high performance review for the week. What's yours? What are you grateful for? What is that lesson that you are learning this week? And what are you looking forward to in the upcoming week? What are you working on? What is that goal that you want to achieve? Let's make it happen. Let's do a deep dive and work together. I'm here for you every step of the way to make sure that you achieve each and every one of those goals that you want to achieve in this year 2024. So awesome, great stuff. So let's get into our discussion for today very, very quickly. The laws of wealth, the importance of obeying the laws of wealth. It was some weeks ago. I remember my wife Rahila, she asked me the question that, what's your fondest memory growing up about the holidays? And I thought about it for a little while. I said, well, my fondest memory about the holidays growing up is how short the holidays always is, or always are. How short those days are, as in they just come by and they fly by so quickly that for me it was so ridiculous, so painful, so unfair that you've been living your life for the whole year for these 3 days. That's Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and New Year Day, that entire holiday period. And then before you can even say happy, or before you can even say merry, those days are over. and then you are now back to reality. You are now facing the year again, and you are just wondering, like, oh, what exactly happened? And I'm sure that you can relate as well, because what are we talking about? This is our first live session for the year 2024, and today is already fifth. It's as in this, the fact that we are here right now, and the last session that we had was just a couple of days to the new year, and just like that we're already 5 days into the new year, is just complete proof of what we're talking about. It just looked like, okay, New Year was yesterday, and now here we are. It's already 5 days into the new year. And that's one thing that we always wonder, that where is the time going? You wonder how you had already planned and set up yourself for the holiday period, that, oh, this is those days that you are just going to be free to do anything that you like, free to sleep in as much as you like, free to wake up anytime that you like. I remember that for us kids growing up, that's the one. Those are the few days that nobody will monitor you and say, this is bedtime. You need to go and sleep. You are free to stay up late to any extent that you like. Watch as much movies, watch as much TV that you like, play as much video games that you like. As in, it's just that period where you are free. You are free to eat as much as you like, free to just laze around. And that's, I believe that's one of the reasons that we really, really look forward to the holiday period, because of that freedom, that there's no encumbrance, we are not limited, we are not restricted. You are not thinking of school, you are not thinking of work, you are not thinking about those obligations that you have. You are just really, really free. And but that's just the painful thing, that freedom is just short-lived. It's just for a very short period, and then before you know it, you are back to reality. And for me, the lesson there is that at the end of the day, you realize that the one of the greatest desires that we have as humans is that desire to be free. We crave freedom. Is one of those things that we truly, truly, truly desire. The desire, the freedom to know what we want, to go after it, and to achieve it without anything limiting us, without anything holding us back, without any restrictions, without any encumbrance. And you sometimes you get to that place where you feel like, oh, freedom is a life without laws, freedom is a life without restrictions, freedom is a life without boundaries. But maturity is getting to that point where you realize that freedom is not a life without laws, really. It's not a life without restrictions. There is no place in the world that you go today, there is no nation that you go to in the world today that doesn't have their laws that govern, that serves as a standard for behavior, no matter how liberal that nation or country may be. And so it's coming back to that place where you realize that what freedom is about is submitting yourself, submitting your life to the right kind of laws. Because there are two laws that are at work in the world: the laws that you give yourself over to, and they end up making you a slave to certain things, and the laws that you submit to but end up making you have dominion over certain things. And either way, you have to make a choice. And if you don't make a choice to consciously submit to the laws of freedom, the laws that give you dominion, the law to the other side is automatically made for you. And I know that as a high performer, you know this, and this is something that maybe has been resonating and has been ringing in your heart, but you've not had a forum where it is being discussed and openly, taught and talked about like this. And that's why I just feel that it's a very good way to start off the year, right? That we're just coming out of the holiday period, and some people are still feeling the holiday blues, still recovering from everything that happened during Christmas, happened during New Year, and they are trying to recalibrate and get their hustle on for the new year. And just how do you have that proper perspective, right, to go into the new year so that you can achieve those goals that you want to achieve? That's what it's about. And it's about understanding the fact that these laws have to be put in place if we are going to be those high performers that God has created us to be. There are certain laws that we need to obey as high performers if we are going to enjoy greater wealth, if we are going to enjoy abundance in our lives in this year 2024, if we are going to achieve those goals that we want to achieve, and what specifically are those laws that we need to obey. That's what I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes. I believe that there are 5 laws, that's not all, but 5 laws that I believe can get us started on our high performance journey towards greater abundance, greater wealth, greater influence, achieve those goals that we want to achieve this year 2024. And those 5 laws are: number one, the law of diligence; the law of difference; the law of day one; the law of daily; and finally, the law of delay. I'll say that again. 5 laws of freedom to help us be those high performers that God has created us to be this year 2024. Number one, the law of, what did I say? Diligence. The law of diligence, the law of difference, the law of day one, the law of daily, and the law of delay. Don't mind me, I was carried away with how handsome I'm looking. Don't mind me. And so those are the 5 laws that we need to obey if you and I are going to be those high performers that God has created us to be this year. So the very first one that we're going to start off with is the law of diligence. The law of diligence. Now, let me quickly say that diligence and hard work are 2 different things. Yes, I know when I said diligence, maybe the first thing that came to your mind was, oh, it's talking about being very hardworking. Let me just quickly say that diligence and hard work are 2 different things. While hard work is concerned with aptitude, diligence is concerned with attitude. While one is concerned with the what of the task, the other one is concerned with the why of the task. Sorry. While one is focused on the external, the other one is focused on the internal. While hard work is about eye service, which you and I can relate to very well in many of the organizations that we work, perhaps even you yourself, you might have done it sometimes. The other one is about God's service, really. While one is about pleasing men, the other one is about pleasing God. You know, scripture always talks about how we need to remember that we should do our work not as men pleasers, but realizing that the ultimate person that we work for, the person that we truly, truly serve, yes, Rayla, you're laughing, I know you can relate, the person that is truly watching us and keeping the record, keeping the scorecard is God. So while you can slack off, while your supervisor is not looking, you are busy browsing something on the internet. Hi, yes, thank you so much, Rayla. Happy New Year to you too. And you are doing things that are not work related. Your diligence understands that yes, your supervisor may not see you, but there is somebody else that sees you, and that's God. And because you know that God sees you, then you know that you should do the right thing, whether the supervisor is there or not, whether your boss is there or not, whether your team leader is there or not. And so that's just what it's about. Because, okay, what about when you now get to that point where you are working for yourself? You are not working under any other person. You are not working under direct supervision of somebody. Then what are you going to do at that time? That's when you now begin to realize the importance of diligence, the importance of obeying that law called diligence. And so that's what it's about. That if there is anything that is going to make us stand out in this year 2024, it's diligence, it's not hard work. I love the way the wise King Solomon puts it. He said, the diligent find freedom in their work. Trust me, there are a lot of hardworking people that they are not free. Because they are just going through the motions, they are putting in the hustle, putting in the grind. But many times what happens is that they can't wait for periods like this, like the holidays, to escape from that work because they don't like what they are doing, because they are just enduring their work. They are just enduring, they are not enjoying what they do. Contrast this to the diligent person. The diligent person finds freedom in their work because they enjoy their work. And the reason why they enjoy their work is because they have made a commitment to bring the joy to what they do. So when they say the diligent enjoys their work or finds freedom in their work, it's not that the freedom falls on them or the enjoyment falls on them. It's because they have made that decision to bring joy, to bring the passion to what they do. And if there's anything that is going to make us stand out in this 2024, that's in this year 2024, then you need to obey the law of diligence. 5 characteristics of diligent people. Number one, diligent people keep their word. Diligent people keep their word. Now, many times when we say diligent people keep their word, maybe the first thing that comes to your mind is that your very notorious tailor that showed you paper during this holiday period, right? That had told you that you were going to get that dress, you were going to get that outfit before Christmas, but trust me, you got there and the shop was locked. You didn't even see. It's a different thing if you even got there and they were able to explain to you, oh, this is what is happening, or this, the person even disappeared. So you couldn't even get angry. You got angry, but you couldn't find where to vent the anger. Perhaps you were even calling and their line was switched off or something. And so yeah, as a reader, I know you can relate. And so that's just what it is, that your mind is probably going to all those artisans, all those people that you work with that will tell you one thing and at the end of the day, they don't keep to their word. Yes, that's part of it. But remember, as high performers, when we point one finger at one person, do not forget the four other fingers pointing back at you. So at the end of the day, is realizing that the diligent person keeps their word first of all to themselves. That's what it's about. So yes, I know you want to quickly point the finger to that tailor, to that artisan that during this holiday period promised you heaven and earth that they were going to deliver, but at the end of the day disappointed you. But it's coming back to that place where you realize that as high performers, the first person that we need to keep our word to is not to other people, even though that is very important. But how can you keep the word to end time tailors, right? You can say that again. As in, but the point is, how can you keep your word to other people if you can't even keep your word to yourself? And for me, that's just what is so powerful. That's the difference about diligent people. They keep their word to themselves, first of all. And so that's just what it is. That even as we begin this year 2024, there are certain things you have told yourself that you are going to do. The question is, are you keeping your word to yourself? That's what's going to make the difference. Keep your word to yourself first. Until you can keep your word to yourself, you won't be able to keep the word that you have given to other people. And it's very, very important. Number two characteristics of diligent people is they pay attention to details. They pay attention to details. They give speedy attention to details. They give speedy attention to those tasks that they are supposed to do. One thing about diligent people is that they notice things that other people do not notice. They see problems that other people do not notice. Have you ever worked with that supervisor that the supervisor asked you to prepare a memo, and trust me, you had read that memo like 5 times. In fact, maybe more than 5 times. You read that memo like 10 times. You proofread that memo like 10 times. But immediately you took that memo and handed it over to that your team leader or to that your supervisor. The first thing, under 5 seconds, they pointed out an error to you, and you're like, how did this happen? I proofread this thing several times and I never saw it. That's one characteristic about diligent people, and that's why that person is the supervisor there. That's why that person is the head there. My own question to you really is, and this is my point: what are those problems that you notice around you that other people don't seem to notice? What are those challenges that you notice around you that other people don't seem to care about? What are those things that naturally just come at you that every other person are just comfortable with? And when you talk about it, they're like, what is it now? Your own too much or something. My own advice to you is that in this year 2024, pay very close special attention to those things, because that's what is going to make you to stand out. Don't just look at it and just say, oh, because nobody is seeing it, you sweep it under the rug. No, pay special attention to it. Whether you work in an organization or whether you run your own business, whatever it is that you do, pay close attention to those things, because that is what will make you stand out. Forget about the fact that no other person is seeing it. We're talking about the thing that will make you stand out, the thing that will attract greater abundance, greater blessing into your life. It's by noticing those things. that other people don't notice. That's what actually makes you diligent. It's not the number of hours. Just like I said, imagine the person that proofread that letter over and over again. He is very hardworking. But the diligent person just spots it just like that. That's what makes you diligent. That's what makes you stand out. The number three thing about diligent people is that they are skillful in their work. You know that scripture in Proverbs 22, I think verse 29, it says, "Seest thou a man that is diligent in his business? He will stand before kings, he will not stand before mean men." That's what it's about. I love the way the Message translation puts it. He said, "Observe that man, that person, that worker that is skillful in his work." Skillful workers are always in demand. They will not take a back seat to anyone. So you want to be in the forefront, you need to be skillful. You need to be diligent. Being diligent is about being skillful. It's about being skillful in that thing that you do. Number four characteristics about diligent people is that they are always looking for creative ways to solve problems, new and creative ways to solve old problems. So it's coming back to that place, and which is what I'm going to be getting to into the next point, the law of difference, that how are you finding a creative way to solve an old problem? That's what it's about. That's what makes you diligent. That's what will definitely make you stand out in this year 2024. The next thing is the law of difference. We've talked about the law of diligence. Now the next thing is the law of difference. This year 2024, one thing I want to say is that don't follow the crowd. Don't follow the crowd. Yes, don't follow the crowd. Dare to stand out. Don't follow the regular one path. Dare to chart your own course. Dare to chart your own path. That's what will make you to stand out. Don't follow the crowd. Still, I think it's still in the book of Proverbs. Yes, it's the wise King Solomon. He says that clean living and justice with your neighbor means more to God than religious performance. For me, that's just so powerful. He said clean living and justice with your neighbor means far more to God than religious performance. At the end of the day, it's coming back to to that place where you are saying, why do you do the things that you do? This year, 2024, don't do religion. Don't do religion. And religion is not about going to the church, going to the mosque, or going to a temple. Yes, that is religion in some form, but the religion that I'm talking about here is that don't do it because that's the way it has always been done. Don't do it because that's the way every other person is doing it. So, okay, we too, let us do it like that. No. I'm saying that take a step back and say, how can you do this thing in your own way? How can you do this thing in your own unique way? That's just what it is. There is somebody that started doing that thing, that set it up as a standard for every other person to follow. My own charge and my own encouragement to you is that you can actually also be the different maker. You can be the one to set a new standard for every other person to follow. You need to see yourself that way. It's very, very important. Even as we go into this new year, and even as we're already in the new year, even as we go deeper into the year, you are the one. See yourself as that one that sets the standard for others to follow. The next one, the next law is the law of day one. The law of day one. I love this one very well. I love this one so much. The law of day one. And actually, I love the way it was The Rock. I heard say it. I saw it on YouTube. He said, um, "One day or day one, you choose. The choice is yours." And I'd never seen it like that. That one day or day one. That's that thing that you said you are going to do. Are you going to do it one day, or are you going to make today day one that you start doing that thing that you say you are going to do? And for me, that's just what it is. That if we are going to experience greater abundance and greater wealth this year 2024, then we need to obey that law of day one. Before I heard The Rock talk specifically about the law of day one, it was several years ago. It was my mentor Steve Harris. He shared his story. He was one that actually, it was from him I learned the law, and he shared his story how this particular year he made it a goal to make money on the very first day of the year. And for me, that was so insightful. It made such an indelible mark on me because while in the consulting and in the coaching space, there's always this idea that consulting business, training business doesn't come early in the year like January. It doesn't start coming until maybe like February, March, sometimes even until April, where all the companies have consolidated and are back and are fully into the activities of the year, and then you can now start making money. He decided and said to himself that how can I make money on the first day of the year? On the first day of the year. And for me, it was so powerful. We're in this meeting and he was talking about how while other people are going for crossover, please, there's nothing wrong with crossover. Please, it's very important. I hope you went for crossover service, correct crossover service, crossing over into the year 2024. But my point is, while every other person is just focused on that, focused on crossing over into the new year and enjoying the new year, sleeping in and all that, he is smiling to the bank. He is mining to the bank, and he talked about how he learned that law from his own mentor, popular comedian Ali Baba, and I'm sure you know him. And if you know Ali Baba very well, you know this concert that he holds. I haven't been following him in recent times, so I don't know if he held it this year, 2024. He has this concert called the January 1st concert, hosted by Ali Baba. And that's just the thing. Ali Baba is inviting everybody to come and laugh and relax on January 1st, but the guy's pocket is smiling on that January 1st, where everybody is laughing and enjoying themselves and having a good time. The guy is smiling to the bank. So while you have smiled and laughed on the first day of the year and you are going back and still say, oh, January is too long, you're waiting for the payday that comes at the end of the month, the guy has already cleaned out on the first day of the year. And so for me, it's just so powerful. It's just so powerful. Another company, if you know me very well, you know me that I love this company so much. It's so ridiculous, and that's WWE. I love them to bits. I'm sure if you follow me for a while, you've seen my ridiculous and the see my ridiculous Randy Orton videos here on YouTube and maybe perhaps other platforms. I still get some very, very humorous comments about those videos. I think I got one some days ago, and the comment was what you ordered versus what you get, and I couldn't help but laugh. Because it was me standing side by side around the auto, and the person said what you ordered versus what you get. And I really found it humorous because it's just true. I said I look at that video and I'm just like, "Hey, what are you doing?" But it's just how much I really loved the company. I love the superstars, even though I've not been watching wrestling in a while. That's just the truth. But the company inspires me so much. I always tell my wife Rahila that if there's one autobiography I can't wait to read, is the autobiography of Vince McMahon. As in just how he did it, how he built that company into what it is. I just can't wait to read it. And from them too, I also learned that law of day one. I think that was 2022 or 2021. They actually started a brand of their events, and they called it Day One. And I can never forget the promo of the event. All the superstars, they kept showing them, all of them raising one finger in the air with their game face on, and then they just said Day One. I found it so inspiring, especially because of the fact that while every other person is seeing the first day of the year as in day one, meaning January 1st now, while everybody is seeing January 1st as that year where let's just kick back and relax and wait for the year to begin, for them, the year has already begun. The year has already begun. They are doing their thing. They are doing their thing. They go out there to perform. For the people that are saying, let us wait for the year to begin. And that's one thing about the law of day one. It makes you a spectacle to others. While you are there doing your thing, the other people that are busy sitting back and relaxing, they will gather around to watch you do your own thing. That's what it's about. And it's not about being narcissistic and all that. That's not what I'm saying. Is that at the end of the day, people will look up to you. People will want to admire you. And yes, I know that, okay, maybe you are feeling like, oh, January 1st has passed. I didn't do anything. Today is January 5th. My own charge to you is that make today your day one. Make today your day one. That thing that you said you are going to do, don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till Monday. Start it today. Do it today. Don't wait till second week of January. Don't wait till third week of January. Don't tell yourself that no, nothing happens in January. Usually the year starts in February. Start it today. A year from now, specifically this December 31st, 2024, you are going to wish you started today. So you might as well get started. The fourth law is the law of daily. The fourth law is the law of daily. To seek greater abundance and wealth in this year 2024, one law that we're going to have to obey is the law of daily. It's very, very important. You've heard me say it over and over again. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it's from Sarah Beth Yoga. I say Sarah Beth Yoga. Yoga is not part of her new book. Forgive me. She's a yoga expert called Sarah Beth. She always says this that I love so much. She says your daily practice is your strongest practice. And for me, I find that so powerful. It changed my life. It changed my life. Where, at the end of the day, you just realize that whatever goal that you are going to achieve this year, 2024, the only way you can guarantee that you are going to achieve that goal is by asking yourself this question: what have you put in place? What practices, what daily practice have you put in place to help you achieve that goal? That's the only way that you are going to be guaranteed to achieve that goal. Because here's the beautiful thing: success, a successful life is simply a combination of successful days. So how do you know a life that is going to be successful? By how the person is using their days, by how they treat their days. Because it's a combination of each successful day that leads up to what is called a successful life. So how do you know that the year 2024 is going to be a successful year for you? By the things that you do daily. By the things that you do daily. How are you setting up yourself every day to move you closer specifically to that goal that you want to achieve? And so success doesn't happen just one day when you hit that goal, when you hit that breakthrough that you desire. Is that it's about making it a way of life. It's about your daily practice. It's about your daily routine. It's about your daily rhythm. And that's just my own encouragement to you, that whatever it is that you do, set up yourself in such a way that you do it daily. It's better you do that thing 5 minutes every day than you do it 2 hours once in 2 weeks, than you do it 2 hours maybe every other week. Just do it 5 minutes every day. That daily practice is your strongest practice. It's what will make the difference. How are you using your day? Break your day into hours. How are you using every hour of your day? How are you using every moment in your day? Because success is a moment to moment thing. It's about the moments, it's about the minutes, it's about the hours. How are you making the best use of them? How are you making the best use of it? That's what will make the difference. And then the final law, we've talked about the law of diligence, the law of difference, the law of day one, the law of daily, and then the final one is the law of delay. The law of delay. Now, when I say delay, there are two kinds of delay. There is good delay and there is bad delay. We have already talked about law of day one, right? That get started, don't delay. Delay will lead to decay. That definitely is the bad kind of delay. But there's also the good kind of delay that you need to put in place if you are going to see that goal that you want to achieve in this year 2024, and it's the delay. You already know where I'm going and you don't like it, but I'm going to go there. It's the law of delay gratification. To delay gratification. If you're going to see greater wealth and greater abundance this year, trust me, I'm also talking to myself. We have to be willing to delay gratification. I will never forget this message, and it also exists. It's also in a book. I was at a conference several years ago, and Pastor Mental Otabil was speaking, and the title of his message was "Buy the Future." And I can assure you that that conference, there were at minimum 50,000 people at that conference. But trust me, by the time that guy was done with that message, "Buy the Future," for a 50,000 for a 50,000 capacity event to be so quiet and solemn, then you know that that message must have been very, very strong. But I'm telling you, that's just what it is. Oh my goodness. I will never forget how he broke down the fact that, how Esau sold his future, for a plate of soup, and how, he explained how Africa and the people in Africa every day are selling their future just for a plate of soup. I'm telling you, the entire congregation was very solemn. Was very solemn. And really, every time that talk about delaying gratification comes up, usually that's what happens. And but really, the truth about it is that that's what will make the difference. It's about obeying that law. And I never, I think it's the wise King Solomon that puts it like this. He says that the pursuit of pleasure is never satisfied. He said the person that sows sin, sorry, that plants sin will reap weeds. And it's coming back to that place where you tell to yourself that this is pleasure, this is your future. At the end of the day, you are going to have to make the choice. You're going to have to make the choice. And that's just what it is about. It's about delaying gratification. That at the end of the day, it's coming back to that place where you buy the future. When we talk about buying something, is that it's going to cost you something. There's going to be a price to pay to get that price. And we have to be willing to pay that price. And I know you and I, as high performers, we can do it, really. And when it comes to delaying gratification, the truth about it is that we all struggle. But I'll just give three quick ideas that I believe that can help us practically when it comes to this thing called delayed gratification. And number one is that set short-term goals. Set short-term goals. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, don't mind me. Set short-term goals. So instead of thinking, okay, the entire 12 months of the year 2024, think the next 90 days, right? Think the next 60 days. Even think just the next 30 days. What will you like to do? Break down that goal into the 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. What will you like to achieve over the next 30 days? And then tell yourself to just take it one step at a time, take it one day at a time. That's specifically why I talked about the law of daily. So instead of thinking about, oh, how are this thing going to happen over the next 12 months, over the next 6 months, just take it one step at a time, take it one day at a time, make it a 30-day plan, make it a 60-day plan, make it a 90-day plan. The second thing that I believe is very helpful concerning the law of delayed gratification is this, and that's focus on the reward, not the effort it will take you to get the reward. I say that again, focus on the reward and not the effort it's going to take you to get the reward. Because if you keep focusing on the effort, trust me, at some point you will definitely get discouraged and you want to give up. But focus on the reward. Focus the picture of the reward in your mind and in your heart must be bigger than the picture of the effort. And so the only way that you can do that is that think over and over as often as possible about the reward rather than the effort. Yes, you are going to have to put in the effort, but think more about the reward that is coming rather than the effort. And another thing that I would say is that you need to also think about the consequences of not getting that reward is very important, because many times we don't think about the consequences of our actions or inactions. That's why we don't get to do those things that we know that we are supposed to do. But when you think about the consequences of doing that thing or not doing it, it puts some fire in your belly. It reminds you that you need to get going and you need to get the thing that you need to get done. And then the final thing is celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins. Take out time. And that's why every time that we come on High Performance Live like this, I'm always asking you, what are you grateful to God for? What are you grateful for this week? It's not rhetoric. It's because it's very, very important for growth. If you are going to grow and move closer to those goals that we want to achieve, you need to learn how to celebrate your small wins. You need to integrate your small wins every day that you do a good job, every day that you go out there and do that thing that you said you are going to do, whether you see the tangible results or not, every day that you go out there as a diligent person and you keep your word to yourself and you do that thing that you said that you are going to do, celebrate yourself. have a nice self dancing party if you know how to dance. Or one thing that you can do is that maybe every Friday of the week, call a friend, call somebody and tell them, oh, this is what I said I was going to do and I did it. You can also keep a journal where you are journaling and talking about the things that you are doing, but by all means, make sure that you celebrate your wins. So that's it. Five laws to enjoy greater abundance and greater wealth this year 2024. The law of diligence, don't forget, the diligent find freedom in their work. The law of difference, don't follow the crowd, chart your own course. The law of day one, a year from now, you will wish you started today. The law of daily, your daily practice is your strongest practice. And then the law of delayed gratification, remember that it's about buying the future. It's about buying the future. So that's just what it is. As we go into this year 2024, we need to remember that, just like I said, freedom is not the absence of laws, it's not the absence of rules. The only way to be truly, truly free, the only way to enjoy freedom in any aspect of our life, whether finances or any aspect of our lives, is to be willing to submit ourselves to the right laws. That's just it, to submit ourselves to the right laws, because God is not a respecter of persons. And we like that scripture when we want to use it in the positive aspects. God is not a respecter of persons. So if he did this thing for somebody, if this good thing happened for this person, it can also happen for me. But one thing I can assure you is that statement, that scripture works in the opposite direction. When it says God is not a respecter of persons, what it simply means is that if you refuse to honor the laws, if you refuse to submit yourself to the right laws, you get punished. That's just it. I even me too, right now as I'm saying it, I don't like to say it. But it's coming back to that place where maturity is saying to yourself that whosoever it is, you are special, but you are not that special. And as I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself. You are special, but you are not that special. If you honor the laws, you will reap the rewards. But if you disobey the laws, you will get the consequences. And that's what really maturity is about, to realize that you and I, we are not exempt. We are not different. God is not a respecter of persons. And so if we do those things that we know that we need to do, if we submit ourselves to the laws, we will definitely see those results that we desire to see in this year 2024. And so that's it. Great and wonderful insights that are shared. I know that you have had a great time too. Um, Remember, I asked earlier that what are those specific skills that you want to learn this year? Or you have any questions that you want me to answer, feel free, shoot me those questions, and I'll be there to answer them for you. First live session for the year 2024 done and dusted. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to me. Wishing you a very, very beautiful weekend ahead and a great week ahead. I know most workplaces are getting into full swing next week. So just wishing you all the best. God's strength, God's grace, God's favor as you go out there to do your thing. Don't forget to apply these laws that I've talked about. Trust me, they are going to make you stand apart this year. They are going to make you a spectacle. They are going to make you an object of discussion among other people. The people that see you and respect you and want the kind of results that you want, they will come up to you and tell you that please teach us how you are doing. While some other people, they will just the only thing they can do is just to hate on you and to envy you. My own advice is that just let them be. Don't allow any offense get into your heart. Face your work, face forward, keep doing your thing and keep making progress, and just leave them in the dust as that high performer that you are. So that's it. Look forward to all the great stuff coming out on Sunday, tomorrow, Sunday. New content, new newsletter, new video. Please share this thing with somebody. Share all this stuff with somebody. I know that they will find them very, very helpful and be grateful to you that you did. So, talk to you very soon. Do take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Your greatness is very sure.